So some of them are not actually, they're thinking that pure water in a bottle is what they should be measuring, not actually the water that they're adding to their protein shake. Water right there is indeed part of your water intake.
See, we've had that question, and I've told them, no, you don't count it.
Well, because I put milk in mine. I don't like it made with water.
I don't either.
So I always did milk
Ditto.
with mine. So that's probably why we say you can't count it, but we're hearing it first.
Milk is, you don't count it for its milk. And usually milk will cause actually a little bit more irritation because of the lactose that's in there.
Oh.
And it is going to eventually break down into sugar. So I always recommend just water.
Okay.
Oh, it's kind of gross with
for a
water.
different taste to it.
Yeah.
But
guess what, guys?
We're not doctors.
No, we are not.
If you're going to be making any major medical decisions, please consult your doctor.
That includes diets, exercise, medications, and surgery.
We love you guys.
And we want you to continue to be in our OSLP family forever.
So be careful and consult your doctors. Guys, we all need our vitamins after surgery, regardless of what you think.
Yes.
It's a must.
Yes. So why not choose the easiest and the best tasting in the community?
Seriously, it's ProCare, guys. ProCare
Duh.
is so delicious. I use their chewable for over a year. That's how I know.
Yes. And I love their capsules.
Yes.
Love them. They're
Yes.
once a day. I take them at night. Easy peasy. And my labs are fantastic.
Yeah, our labs are great. And I've actually switched to the capsules and I take those at night now. So if you guys need your iron, they have them with iron and they have them iron free. They even have calcium chews.
Yes. The calcium chews. Perfect. They have mocktail ones, chocolate. They have also some caramel and a cinnamon roll.
They're freaking delicious. So go over to procarenow.com and use our code OSLP to save some money.
Prepping and measuring your food post-op is a beast all in itself. But Portion Perfection has actually made it super, super simple. They have bowls, plates, and even a lunch bag called the Kitten Carry where you can have all of the system ready to go.
Yeah, we love carrying that thing around with us. It's so much easier to pack your lunch, your snacks, especially when you're on a road trip. That thing is a lifesaver.
Yes.
So if you want to get these things to help your journey, just go over to portionperfection.com and use our code 15OSL-POD. And again, that's 15OSL-POD. And you can also go over to our Amazon storefront to pick out any of those that you would like to use. If you could take a quiz today about weight loss surgery, how well do you think you would score? Well, there is an app for that, and it's called NewTriHealth.
Yes, it has 12 modules. You watch a video, read an article, and then you get to take the quiz. If you want to be the most prepared for the journey that lies ahead, go over to NewTriHealth.com and put Our Sleeve Life podcast as your provider. All know how difficult post-op life can be.
Yeah, it's pretty freaking hard, guys.
Yes. And so a way to make it a little bit easier is by joining the T.R.I.B.E membership program. It has been created by a registered dietitian. She's actually the sleeve dietitian on Instagram. Her name is Jamie. And she's created this whole membership program just to support us.
Yeah, like we've had her on the podcast. We love her to freaking death. And then two, like she has full experts in their field that help you. And they've had bariatric surgery, almost every one of them.
Yes.
And the sleep dietitian is freaking smart because she has almost a support group every single day, guys.
Yes.
You're going to get an email. It's going to tell you which ones are for today. And you can just sign up and hang out with people that are just like you. And I've even used the journal prompts. I'm into journaling, and that was way helpful to just go somewhere that can help you and just get your mind going.
Yes.
So if you need this kind of support, which a lot of us do, go to her website and use our code OSLP at checkout to get your discount. Welcome back, OSLP family. Welcome.
It is a beginning of a new year.
Yeah, and I just like had a crack in my throat. What the
Are
fuck?
you going through puberty?
I guess.
Okay.
It happens at 36. Didn't
Good
you
to
know?
I did not know that, but now I do. You are listening to Our Sleeve Life podcast, and this is Kelly.
This is Mo. See, it's still there. I can't do it.
I'm the sick one. You
I know.
are not.
I know what's going on.
You're not allowed to be sick at all.
I know, never.
We would fall apart.
She takes the card of 6, so I don't get to do that.
No, never, never. So if you guys are listening to this, you should probably go over to our Patreon.
Immediately.
It is patreon.com/OSLP. And that is where you're going to get all that extra support that you are craving.
Yeah.
I know everybody's craving
Well, there's some cool stuff that happened besides just our support group, which our support group is really, really cool.
They're called the Benchies.
They're called the Benchies.
And they're freaking amazing.
But there's some other cool things that happen. So like you get a Zoom meeting with us once a month.
Yep.
You get discounts on your swag.
You do.
You do. If you're with us for 3 months, we get merch that just goes out to you.
Yes.
We do.
Yes.
And started in January. And this is the second episode in January.
Yes.
The Morning Confessions with Mel will now only be on Patreon. So you're going to get to hear a little bit of it. And then you have to go to Patreon to hear the rest.
Yes. And you also do get a bonus episodes from us.
Yes, you do.
That are purely only for our patrons.
And what are they called, Cal?
They are called the That's What She Said corner.
Woo-hoo.
Because everybody knows that's what I say
Mhm.
all the time, every episode. So,
and we're a bunch of she's, so it's fine.
We are. So if you want some extra support, go over there, sign up, become a patron, because it helps us, but we also like to give back and help you. And that's where the support group comes in.
Yeah. So, and if you can't help us financially, we totally get it. There is a free way. You literally just go over to YouTube. It's on your phone.
It's preloaded.
Preloaded. You just have to click on it, type in Our Sleep Life Podcast. We are the only ones.
Yes.
Hit the bell, hit subscribe, and then you'll get to see our lovely faces every Tuesday. There is a video drop for you.
And that's what she said.
That's what she said.
So without further ado, is also, if you were on our YouTube, you would know who we're recording with right now.
I know.
They were sponsors of the JBY Bariatric Award Show, the first ever.
The first one.
And we absolutely love them because not only are they sponsors, but they flew out all the way from Florida to attend the event and to support our community. Yeah. And we absolutely love them.
I know. We felt the love. And they have a really cool aftercare situation.
They do.
So.
And we're going to hear all about it from Dr. Fridley himself. So welcome on, Dr. Fridley.
Hello, guys.
How's it going?
Very good. We're very happy to be with you. And that was an awesome award show.
Oh, thank you. It was so much fun. I just want to relive it every day.
What was your favorite part?
Gosh, that's hard to say. There was a lot of times. I think it probably had to be how many times our sleep dietitian went up there.
I know.
It was so funny.
She wanted to kill us.
We knew who all the winners were, and we kept them very, it was top secret.
Yep.
Nobody was allowed to know. But we knew she won 5 times.
Oh, my God.
And every time when we were calculating it out, we would go through, because we have a system or a thing that documents everybody who voted.
Yes.
And so it gives us a percentage and it tells us who went. And we were just like, oh, it's Jamie again.
Oh,
it's
shit.
Jamie again.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So but she has all of her awards behind her in her office.
It's so cute.
It's very cute.
It's so cute.
So you see the stars.
Well deserved. It was a good time.
She deserves a big round of applause from the community because she kills it every day and she works her butt off.
Yeah.
For the content that she brings to the community.
She's busy.
She is a busy girl. So yeah, that was pretty funny seeing her go up and then be like, it's Jamie again.
Oh my goodness.
So tell us a little background of how you started thinking about becoming a surgeon and what made you think bariatrics.
Yeah, because you have a cool background.
Yeah.
So actually, I never thought I was going to be a bariatric surgeon. My initial training was with the military as a infantry medic. And then from being there, I became a physician and went down the road of surgery. I originally thought I was going to be a trauma surgeon.
That makes
It
sense.
wasn't until actually doing trauma surgery and burn surgery and moonlighting that I, got tired of it and actually got bored.
Oh, wow.
And in my training, it was with bariatric surgeons that I realized that those surgeons were actually very happy. They weren't as grumpy as normal general surgeons are.
Okay.
And so after talking with them a little bit longer, I was able to do some clinic time with them and see there's a totally difference in the clinic atmosphere because most people who go to a surgeon, they have problems that they need to get fixed. So they're not necessarily there on their own free volition. They have pretty much being told, you got to go here.
Right.
Or in bariatrics, it's a little different. People have taken the time and have hit the mark mentally where they're ready and they're ready to make that next step. So it's actually a huge honor to be a part of that. And ever since I started doing that, it's been no looking back. It's just, here's people who need help. You can easily help. And just by being a part of the community, it was able to kind of just keep it free flowing and just build upon it. And that was, it was hard to, the rest is like history, because from there, it was just, here I am helping people day in, day out. You get to see the results. You get to, have the pitfalls or, the slips, so to speak, but then working through that, it was a nice, better lifestyle, I guess, and more satisfaction with day-to-day operating than I would say than any other field.
Wow. That's crazy.
I mean, I knew this community was pretty awesome, but
to pull a surgeon from trauma over to our side.
Yeah.
I like it.
I do love that.
Now, you originally, so did you work in a hospital first before you created your own practice?
So yes, I originally was employed by two separate hospital systems, and then COVID hit, and really the hospital systems didn't have any clue how to thrive in a situation of a pandemic when nobody wanted to come to the hospital, nobody's going to get surgeries, especially elective surgeries.
Yeah.
So at that point, I made the very scary and very enlightening, I call it, decision to go private. And that decision was very hard, but after, many conversations with my wife, we decided it was time. And now we're at a private office where we can work out of multiple hospitals, and we can tailor it. Instead of doing it the way that a bureaucratic system wants to do it, we can do it exactly the way it was meant to be done.
Nice.
And we can focus it purely on the patient. And no hospital is able to really kind of come in and interject on that because I'm not employed anymore.
Oh, that's awesome.
Ooh,
you know what? I really
nice.
liked, when we were recording the ad for the award show for you guys, I really liked that you realized that every patient is unique.
Yeah.
And every case is unique, because I think a lot of the times it's kind of like one size fits all. Here you go. Here's your program. And so I really like the fact that you guys understand that it needs to be tailored to the patient, not the patient tailored to the program type of thing.
No, this is, we don't have a cookie cutter program at all. And everyone, I say that's been a big selling point for our program, but it's also one of the reasons why we're as successful as we are, is because not everyone is going to respond well to it. Here's a pre-programmed diet, good luck, and drop 20 pounds and we'll do your surgery. It's more, we have to spend the time to figure out, why are we here? And I tell my patients, like the day one from coming in the office is, I try to get the word failure out of your head, because the failures are the people who never made it to my office.
Yes.
It says, you've already succeeded by taking that leap. Now you just have to figure out, how do you succeed on a daily basis versus how do you, stop being beaten down like you do to yourself most of the time. So pre-programmed diets don't work.
No,
we know basic information about what works and what should work, what doesn't work. We got a ton of medications out there, which are now getting a whole bunch of limelight, good and bad.
Yes.
So tailoring it to each individual and say, hey, we're going to keep you within the confines of X, Y, and Z, but the goal is to get you from point A to point B, and then feel comfortable to see us down the road at point C. And then that's why we can't be rigid. Okay. We will basically work with you, and that is our job, to be available for the rest of your life. Just like being available as a dynamic duo on YouTube and everything for these people. It's just access to information and personalities, and so somebody can click with it, and someone can feel less alone and join in and get involved.
Yeah.
Very important.
Most definitely. I would agree with that. Yeah. Cause it's really hard when you feel like the last year has been really hard. I regained a lot, and I felt, even though I'm a part of this community in a very real way, I felt very alone in that feeling of like, I regained, so I felt I failed type of situation in my head. Even though I knew I didn't fail, like I know all the information, but my head likes to talk bad. And so now that I've kind of like put it out there, and I've actually went into my office and talked about it with my surgeon, like I felt less alone knowing that I have somebody there I can talk to.
Yes.
Like from my medical team.
Well, and we need more surgeons to understand that it needs to be tailored to us. So that way we can feel more comfortable.
Yes.
Because I think that aftercare part is key, but a lot of us stop going. And if we had someone that was like making sure it was tailored to us and what we need, because like, I know for sure, like because Kelly was dropping fast.
Yeah, I dropped really fast.
She dropped way fast, and I was a slow loser. Like it took me about 18 months to get to my maximum lowest. So it was like interesting, but so what I was doing could not work for you, and vice versa. There's just no way.
Yeah.
And it's very important to have someone that you feel comfortable talking to about it, because I was hitting some stalls that really was messing me up, but I didn't talk to anybody. I just bared and grin it.
Yeah. Yeah. So. I think also with the, your comment of the medications, I think that that's another thing that we've talked about, is that like, sometimes you need the medication, so you'll have surgery, but sometimes your body does weird things, and maybe it'll stop losing. Maybe you're doing everything correct and you don't know what else to do. So then you add a medication on top of there, and maybe that'll help you out to where you can get to where you want.
Right. Just a Kickstarter.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that, it's finding, not everything works like what you're saying. Not everything works for everybody in the same way. So you have to find what works for you, because like I'm on Monjaro right now. I've done amazing on it. I feel so much better, but then there's other people that have taken it and they have really bad stomach issues with it.
Like GI
other
stuff.
People, or other people can't do it. So it's like, you have to find out what works for you, whatever route that is, whatever, whatever tools you can keep in your tool belt.
That's right.
Along the way.
And we know that, following up with a surgeon doesn't actually increase your weight loss. It's the follow up with the dietitian. So that's why I force everyone, I don't want to say force, but, we have the routine follow up. But my point in seeing them is to make sure that they're medically safe, and then also to keep, nudging them to go see our dietitian, just keep following up with her, make sure any new trends coming out there that you're interested in, let's make sure that they're going to work for you.
Yeah.
Or, just to follow along and learn from you as you guys go through it, because, it's not an exact science.
No, it's not.
One of the biggest things I hate is actually the weight. Everyone weighs themselves, and I try and tell patients, I don't really care about your weight. And they're floored by that. And it's like, the reality is it's a number. That's your pull on gravity.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't change, it's like, how do I know that that's not you gaining muscle? Because I've had several patients who've gotten really athletically fit, and they get frustrated when that number doesn't go down.
Right.
So in the office here, where we're lucky enough to have, an in-body scan machine that does body composition scans, and the psychology of when someone is not losing weight, if they're at a stall, is horrifying. But when you put them on that body composition scan and you show them from the time of surgery that they've gained 20 pounds of muscle, even though they've only lost 30 pounds, that's takes
a big
away
deal.
A failure. It's like, no, you're succeeding in all the right ways. Just stop paying attention to that number.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I'm a chronic scale.
She is.
Stepper on her.
Stepper on her.
Yes, stepper on her. I step on the scale more than most people.
I'm sure.
But I also know that when I get away from stepping on the scale, that's when my mind says like, oh, it's fine to have this. Oh, it's fine to have this. Because then I don't have to realize what the number is.
Right.
So if I'm on the scale every morning, I know what parameters to
It's
give
a real
myself.
Reminder for you.
Yeah. So, and I really started gaining when I stopped weighing myself.
Happens every time.
But I also don't let it wreck my entire day if it's not the number I want it to be at. And that's when I think you need to step away from that.
If it does.
When it's affecting your day-to-day mood. But so I'm really interested about this body composition.
Well, I was going to start I am too. But can we start like how, like if someone finds you, what is the process to be your patient? Like, what does that look like?
When we get a patient who calls and they've heard about us, or they, talk to their primary care, they'll contact the office. You got 2 ladies up front who will take care of them. And the first thing to do is make sure that there's no surprises with your insurance. So first thing is absolutely hate, and I will go to bat for any patient who, actually we have one, the insurance, I won't say lied, but they were not truthful when they explained to us that she had coverage. And so here she has gone through our entire program, and we went to authorize her surgery, and they said, no, she has no coverage. So we held on to the reference numbers for the conversation we had with her insurance company. So like we're going to bat with her primary care all the way up to talking to a senator, or I think it might be a representative, to actually contact the national insurance company to say, you guys need to honor this. And for all these reasons, which we've done a couple of times. But the main reason, when they come on board, no surprises. You need to be well educated about everything that's going to happen. So right off the bat, we take your insurance information, make sure that you're not going to come out of pocket for anything you don't need to.
Okay.
And your first visit's going to be with me. Usually it's about 45 minutes, and we go over everything, the entire program, what exactly your goals are, what surgery is going to be best and why. And from there, usually we set up 2 to 3, sometimes more, depending on insurance, visits with myself to kind of make sure they're going through the process well. But there are also dedicated visits with the dietitian, who's usually doing about a 35-minute visit at that time, kind of learning them, teaching them along the way. And then after you check all the boxes, which I'm sure you guys are aware, it takes a little time, and then we start working on the surgery. And then after surgery, it's a lot of follow-up with me. It's 2 weeks, 6 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, and annually.
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
So when they're going through the stuff with you, are you have them do therapy first or check on the mental health side?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I recommend everyone have at least one visit for not only just insurance reasons, but you never know when you need to call back and see them, because we've had patients who are at the end of the process, I have no problems, and they don't. And then their mother dies.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they have really a hard time coping with it.
Yep.
And they don't have a person to turn to, and they're already self-conscious about their weight and everything else. So it's like, no, you've already established with someone, just because it's not pertaining to bariatrics, this is you. Take care of you. And so then we always have an avenue for someone to get taken care of on every aspect.
Oh,
awesome.
nice.
How long after they have surgery can they still go in and see the therapist?
Anytime.
Okay.
Ooh, even better.
I like that.
I love it.
And is it the same for like the dietitian side? You can go and see her whenever?
The dietitian is available every day.
Okay.
She's here on the days that I'm in clinic, and the days that I'm in the operating room, she actually will see patients on her own.
Oh, cool.
So she's available 5 days a week.
Awesome. Oh, wow.
Wow. That's even better.
Great. Yeah. I've heard from several people that their offices kind of graduate them out of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
I was.
It
was
kind
like,
of irritates me a little bit, because I'm like, how do you know that they're fine? Like, for the rest of their life, you're saying they're totally fine and they don't need to see a dietitian ever again?
I only saw him one time.
I know, it's weird.
One.
I call my patients, they're like my children. You never lose them. Okay. No matter how grown up they get, they can always come back and they can always see you. And the goal in our office, and the ladies know it here, is to always leave the door open. It's like, if you feel like they're comfortable and they're good to go, then they can leave, but never give a barrier for them to ever come back.
Okay.
So graduating a program, this is life. There's no last chapter. Any day you need help, we're there.
I love it.
We need more of that.
Yeah, we need more of you guys, because that's what people need. They need to know that there's a constant, and it's not a judgment-free constant in their life.
Yeah.
When you have this surgery, you give up a lot, you gain a lot, but you have to have that like avenue of like, if you have any questions, you can ask them, because there's no judgment.
Well, I would like to always know my coaches there. That's what they are, right? Like you guys are our coaches for life. It's like you need a team around you to help you guide through this. That's very real.
Yes.
And I've learned that over the last few years. You do need multiple people that are not.
You need a team.
Not your average day people. Like you do need a real like professional team behind you.
Correct.
And you need a variety. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No.
So, I preach you guys to my patients because although we have a support group through the hospital, it's like sometimes that you don't click mentally with them and it just doesn't fit or it seems too structured. And it's like, that's not the end all be all. Go out there, seek it out. You're going to find a lot of fluff. You're going to find some really good stuff, but you take what you want out of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's such great programs in there. I know that like a lot of people, especially, you know, when they go out of the country, you don't have that same aftercare or support because like, you know, you said you guys have a support group. Most offices have some type of support group, but sometimes you just don't mesh well with the system of it. And that's why I'm glad we could create a safe space for our Benchies, but then also, you know, we work very closely with Jamie. And she has the T.R.I.B.E, which is outstanding.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
There's so much information there. And there's a support group every day because sometimes you can't make, you know, this one work, but you can make this one work.
Well, and I just recently went to an NA meeting with my cousin.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did.
You didn't tell me that.
I haven't told actually anybody about that yet. So, and that was kind of the thing that reminded me is like, yeah, because I am a food addict.
Yeah.
I know that I am.
Yep.
And when Jamie has a support group every day, it makes sense because like as an actual addict of any other kind, there is a support group that they can go to every single day, no matter what. And it's like several different times of the day. And did you know that they are all linked to where like they all have the same subject every day?
Oh.
And they have the same like phrase that they're all talking about all at the same time.
I did not know that.
It's wild.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. So I feel like that's kind of like what we're trying to do is like have a community where you can go to every day.
Yeah.
And not be scared.
And ask any question you want.
Anything. Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of questions, what's the weirdest question you've ever received from a patient?
I got stumped last week.
Okay.
Is I do my surgeries robotically. So it's usually just 4 small incisions. She asked if I could do it in a shape of a smiley face.
Yes. I love this girl.
Yes.
I was really stumped. And I was like, I can try.
Nice.
Were you successful?
I know.
Okay. Okay.
But we did make her incisions. We'll make little smiley faces with the marking pen. So she had 5 small smiley faces.
Oh, that's cute. That's adorable.
I will say.
Okay, that's an odd request.
Yes,
I love it.
yes.
I love it. So, how did you get into robotic
Yeah.
surgeries?
Oh, so actually, it's from surgical history. I love surgical history. Knowing, I guess it's from my military roots, is because we don't always have access to everything in the middle of combat zones. So my mentality was always know what we did 100 years ago in case you have to go back there and do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So almost 100 years ago, we started doing, maybe like 60 years ago, we started doing laparoscopic surgery.
Okay.
And everyone kind of like snickered about it, said, what's the point? I can do that surgery open twice as fast. And during my training time is when robotics started coming out, and I started seeing everyone repeating history. Everyone was being a naysayer against this new technology when it was proven to have benefit. So I decided to not fall victim to our own history and adopted it in my training and said, I'm going to learn everything I need to know about this because I don't feel like it's going anywhere. And so I was lucky enough that outside of Philadelphia in Reading, Pennsylvania, there's a group out there that's still there and they're killing it. And I helped them set up a fellowship program for robotic bariatric program. And I just fell in love with it, fell in love with my 2 teachers there. And the rest is history because they're excellent teachers.
Well, and it's a lot less stressful on your guys' body because you're not having to stand there and you have more range of motion.
Yes.
Right.
We got to
So-
play with one.
We did.
Yes.
Playing with little sticks and then versus having the full freedom of motion with it is significantly different. And I'm actually faster now robotically than I was laparoscopically. So it's
Wow.
been nice.
How long does it take you to do like R&Y surgery?
Probably about an hour and a half.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
how long for a sleeve?
The sleeve, that's kind of cheating these days. That's about 35 to 40 minutes.
Okay. So really, it's not that long.
No, it's not.
Do you do the Doedonel switch or the SADI?
I've been trained in it, and I haven't really used it too much in my clinic here, only because of we're a little bit newer program, so we're trying to keep our BMIs a little on the lower side. But then, actually, we've been really successful with the bypass. So
Okay.
Awesome.
Wow.
we've had maybe 2 potential candidates for it, and they just haven't panned out. So
Okay. Okay.
I've trained, but haven't really opened that door yet.
Okay.
Can you kind of explain to our listeners why someone would need a SADI or a duodenal switch?
So that comes down to how much weight you really need to lose.
Okay.
And various surgeons have various reasons for how they want to do it. Some people, if they're in the BMI super morbidly obese category, let's say we'll throw a BMI of 65, 70 out there.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just better to do a simple procedure such as a sleeve gastrectomy to be a quick procedure to get some quick early onset hormonal changes and weight loss changes so that you can get risk modification.
Okay.
Basically, I'm going to do this surgery. We're going to get 50, 60, maybe 100 pounds of weight off in the first year.
Okay.
And then plan to do the second stage to get the rest of the 150 on top of that.
Okay.
200 on top of that. But first, we don't want to do something so aggressive right off the bat because it might be too stressful for the heart. It might be too stressful for your body to go through that much weight loss or that much malabsorption right off the bat.
Okay.
So
Makes sense.
it's the approach that usually goes reminiscent of before. How did we have the sleeve here? Again, history. The biliopancreatic, the duodenal switch and everything out originally was a sleeve first.
Yep.
And it switched later, and no one showed up for the switch. So here we are with the sleeve.
All right. All right.
That makes sense.
How do you help somebody, or how do you help your patients decide which surgery to get?
Usually I go by what are their goals?
Okay.
Depending on the amount of weight loss that they need, whether they have diabetes, whether they have severe reflux.
Okay.
Anyone, they have diabetes, they have severe reflux, or they have to lose greater than 150 pounds, I'm going to default to a bypass.
Okay.
Okay.
If they are over the age of 60 and they don't have GERD, or they don't have severe diabetes, then the sleeve will help out pretty significantly. And we have to kind of be, you can do either one, but one is not better than the other.
Okay.
It's just whatever works better for your situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and that's like staying to the uniqueness of it, which I love.
Totally. Yeah.
So I know we've been wanting to know about the machine.
Yes.
The mass, what's it called?
The body scanner.
Yes.
The in-body.
Yeah.
Yes.
What made you get it?
Yeah,
right?
because we've seen them all in the gym.
Right.
Like most of the time when you start a training program, they'll have you step on it and like it measures you and everything. So what made you think that would be a good fit for your office?
So mainly is the information. So if we're trying to do this surgery and, we're basing it based off of one metric being your weight, which is such a poor metric. So overall health is measured in so many different ways. And the in-body machine, we used it in the military for our fine-tooth athletes, like our special operators and stuff like that, to make sure that they had, proper lean muscle and distribution of fat.
Oh.
But here for, an obese person or someone of size, and you want to get their weight off, it's also beneficial because of the information about the lean muscle mass. Because then if I told you someone that, yes, the scale says it's 300 pounds, but 150 of that is lean muscle mass.
Wow. Yeah.
And that tells you that you have good structure. Let's just work on this little piece here. But ours is nice enough that it actually breaks it up where it's the trunk, it's the arms, and it's the legs.
Oh,
wow.
Tell you the body part, where it's at, how much of it. And that way we can also enlist other personal trainers and other things like that. Say, hey, you know, we're kind of outside the range on the legs. Let's beef up the leg exercises and let's get back in line with that. The other thing is with ladies, osteoporosis.
Yes.
So instead of a DEXA scan, if I see that your lean muscle mass starts to decline, then I know that you're becoming more and more at risk of osteoporosis and osteopenia.
Okay.
So it's also an early warning system for me.
Wow.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's really cool. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, I have not at all.
Huh.
Okay.
Wow, there's so much.
And can you explain why, and this might not be like in your sector. Yeah. Because like women, sometimes I'll tell them that, like the whole like, hey, we're prone to osteoporosis. We do need to take calcium. That's one of the reasons why I'm like, guys, take your calcium, especially us women. And I get the look like I'm saying wild things. So can you, do you know why that is, or like what that entails? Why is it women versus men or any of that stuff?
Yeah.
Usually it can be related to the muscle mass.
Okay.
If you think about calcium just related to the bones. Bones do not repair themselves unless they're under tension or stress.
Oh.
And the only way that they'll or you break them.
Right.
But
yeah.
I don't have to do that. But stress is what is going to cause it to actually repair itself and keep calcium levels appropriate, normal. The only way to stress it is to actually have enough tension on those ligaments. And that comes down to your lean muscle mass and the strength that you have.
Okay.
So directly associating that to the amount of lean muscle you have. So if you're exercising regularly, you'll decrease your chances of osteoporosis and osteopenia because you're constantly having to lay down new calcium to build new bone because it's always under stress.
So ladies, get your booties in the gym.
Yes.
Lightweight training is good for women. Yes.
Yeah. So how soon do you tell people to start working out after they have surgery?
Usually 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Okay. And what does that consist of? Just walking in the beginning? Or?
They're walking 2 hours after surgery.
Oh, look at him, man. Bam, bam, bam.
That was me. I was up an hour after surgery and I was ready to go.
Yeah.
I was like, let's get this going, ladies.
I barely walk.
I call it organized exercise 3 weeks, because the goal is for you to be able to, we don't want to emphasize inactivity. We don't want you to be scared of the procedure that you have, but we want you to get out there and do enough that you're going to be safe. Well, 3 weeks out from surgery, you should have kind of learned your stomach and learned the do's and don'ts and how to stay hydrated. That's number one. And number two is you don't want to immediately go to the gym to increase your hunger levels. So we try to tell them, stay away from, going really aggressive, because if your hunger levels go up, then it's going to kind of counteract what you did with the sleeve or the bypass as far as your ghrelin levels and hunger.
Oh, okay.
All right.
3 weeks has been usually a good number for me to say you're far enough out that we've had hormonal effect that you can start doing this, but just a steady increase.
Okay.
Don't jump to CrossFit on week 3.
Okay. All right.
Please don't.
So as far as hydration, because we all know how important it is to get our water in after surgery, to hit the 64 ounces as Melanie's going to go drink.
I know. I love how you say, I'm like, I need my water now.
Yes. So what do you recommend if somebody's having a really hard time getting their fluids in?
Yeah. Because we hear it all the time.
Yeah. We just had a whole slew of people have surgery in our Benchy group. And so we're hearing all of these questions.
Yes.
And it's really fun because it's bringing us back to the beginning.
Yep.
So the biggest thing there is why? Why are they having trouble? Because sometimes they're not really having trouble. They're just not calculating it correctly. So some of them are not actually, they're thinking that pure water in a bottle is what they should be measuring, not actually the water that they're adding to their protein shake. Water right there is indeed part of your water intake.
See, we've had that question,
okay.
and I've told them no. You
because
don't count it.
Well, because I put milk in mine. I don't like it made with water.
I don't either.
So I always did milk
Ditto.
with mine. So that's probably why we say you can't count it. But we're hearing it first.
Milk is you don't count it for its milk, and usually milk will cause actually a little bit more irritation because of the lactose that's in there, and it is going to eventually break down into sugar. So I always recommend just water.
Okay.
Oh, it's kind of gross.
For a different taste to it, but the main thing is figure out why.
Yeah.
Like, are you nauseated because are you taking gulps? Are you drinking too fast, too much, or maybe there is a true problem somewhere that needs to be looked at. But as far as to help them get through it, is they really have to tease out and make sure they stick with small 1 to 2 ounces, and then build from that for the first couple of weeks, and count the protein shakes if they're using water, not milk. And usually that gets it. Stay away from the drinking fast, because the fast drinking will actually cause you to spasm and not want it. And then you can go a longer period of time without drinking if you had just spent time sipping throughout the day.
Because I've totally drank too fast, and then it's just like I feel it all the way up. I feel like I'm like in a pool with my neck. Like,
and I also recommend initially try and stick with lukewarm, because ice cold will cause spasms, even though it feels good. And then hot, of course, it also has potential also spasm, but also desensitizes the tongue.
Yeah. So I discovered tea right after I had surgery. And I was like, oh, this is like easy to drink. And so I was able to get my fluids in because I could drink tea. And then I made this one start drinking tea.
It keeps me warm.
Yeah.
Guys, that's how you beat the bariatric freeze for like a time being.
Yeah.
It's in moment only. But literally, like, if you're too cold, just drink something hot. I actually have gone to restaurants and just ordered hot water with lemon. And they look at me funny, but I don't give a shit. So I'm like, I need my hot water. I need to be warm right now. My toes and my nose are cold. That's how I know it's a problem.
Toes and your nose.
Yeah. And those are really hard to get warm again.
Yes. Once they go cold, they're not coming back.
They're not coming back. Because I've totally done, because I'm an ice chewer. I have literally iced myself out where like I ate too much ice. I'm freezing. And then I made a hot thing of tea, and then I drank that afterwards.
You're such a nerd. Have you ever recommended somebody go get fluids?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you get to the point where you're not able to tolerate it, even the small sips, then contact your surgeon, let them know. And usually it's you're not feeling well, you're very weak. Sometimes you stand up, you get dizzy or tunnel vision. And those are all signs of dehydration, what we call, your hypotension. You go to the hospital, you go to an infusion center, and they can give you 2 liters of fluid, and it's like you back to your 18-year-old self again.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Good
that
to
is
know
cool.
that's an option.
Isn't it true if you wake up in the morning with a headache, it means that you're dehydrated?
Not always, but it is one of the number 1 causes.
Okay. Because I've been telling everybody that in my house.
You're so funny.
I just want to make sure.
I was like, I'm going to say it sounds good, so I'm just going to roll with it.
I heard someone say it to us, and I was like, it was a doctor.
Yeah.
Be careful where you're at in the country, because if it's cold where you're at, then you don't tend to drink enough water.
Really? Why?
Because your body is not evaporating enough, so it's your natural thirst isn't always there. Now here in Florida, where we're suffocating 9 months out of the year, water is a constant for everyone. But
interesting.
I trained in Philadelphia. I caught myself not drinking enough, and even in the military, it's very common for us to, because you're not hot and over exerted and sweaty, you don't have the mentality to say, I need to drink something. So you lose that.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's cold right now where we are in Oregon.
Hence why we drink tea.
Very cold. Hence why we drink hot tea as soon as fall hits. But that would make sense why I'm less hydrated during the winter versus the summer.
We were trying to figure that out. We're like, why? This doesn't make any sense. But now it does.
But now it does.
There's real science behind it.
There's science behind everything.
That's right.
It's kind of annoying sometimes. Not gonna lie. Oh my gosh.
There's always a reason. There's always a reason.
So you guys are in Florida.
Yes.
Yep.
What city again?
We're in Hudson, which is not too far. It's towards the Gulf Coast from Tampa.
Okay.
Just like east of or northwest of Tampa.
Okay. All right. And then for vitamins after, what do you recommend people do? Because we've also had a lot of questions about whether they need to do the chewables, whether they can just take tablets right after. What do you usually recommend for your patients?
Whatever works. Now, it's that important. So I'll tell them whatever works. We use, for simplicity, we'll use Bariatric Advantage. That's one of the, and there's nothing, this company versus that company, but always recommend a bariatric geared vitamin because of the fact that it's what they're made with.
Yeah.
And I tell everyone, not every vitamin is the same. We know the FDA doesn't regulate multivitamins. Then you have this USP out there, which regulates how much you can state is actually in there. So if you state that this has 1,000 micrograms of vitamin X, then their job is to make sure that there's truly 1,000 milligrams of or micrograms of vitamin X in there. But chewable, injectable, transdermal, none of that to me really matters. It's like whatever it takes to get it in there and function and use it. So the chewables have been really common because of the fact that not all vitamins are made the same.
Right.
Over the counter, and I'm just throwing Flintstones out there, but everyone loves
do it.
But the binding element of Flintstones. So if you've had a Roux-en-Y gastric bypass, you no longer have an intact stomach that can break down that Flintstone vitamin. So you're actually pooping out the majority of that Flintstone vitamin.
Oh my God.
You have no idea how happy this makes me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I recommend is getting something that is geared and that's why I like Bariatric Advantage, because they actually showed and published their data. And after I was at the ASMBS conference one year and saw their data, that's when I started switching things over, because they showed that, 2 of their pills was the equivalent of like 58 Centrals, because the binding element breaks up and doesn't require an intact stomach, because it can break down and be absorbed.
Okay.
And so whether it's a gummy or doesn't matter, but can it be broken down with the new stomach that you have?
That's key.
That's what Nick was talking about. When we did an episode like a million years ago with Nick from ProCare.
Yep.
Because those are the vitamins we take. And so he was actually explaining that same thing. Is like most of the gummies and stuff, they can't be broken down.
They can't break down,
because they're not made for our bodies.
Yes.
That's why there's a bariatric vitamin.
Right.
That's so.
And the glycerin in there is also can be an irritant to the small bowel. So that's why I always try and tell people stay away from gummies. But
okay. All right.
That makes more sense.
So, and then the dosage, right? That's different than regular people.
Yeah.
Non-bariatric folks, their vitamins versus ours, right?
Now that a lot of that's anecdotal from years before, where we didn't pay attention to the vitamins, and that's a fault of the medical community not really paying attention to detail.
Okay.
The nutritional community actually went and did their research, and now we're picking up the pieces afterwards, being the dumb surgeons we are. But I will say that I don't feel that the need is actually more.
Okay.
Just that we feel more comfortable giving you a higher amount, knowing that you need to absorb a percentage.
Okay.
So someone with an intact stomach will be able to absorb 50%. All right, I'm going to give you 300% because you're not going to absorb it normally.
Yeah. So they have to give you higher percentages so your stomach can.
Needs doesn't really change. It's just that we have to give and augment what we give because of the surgery that you had.
That makes sense.
Okay. All right.
That's cool.
This makes me very happy. And I will tell you.
You have to tell him why.
So my boyfriend, who is also a bariatric patient, he's the world's worst bariatric
And
patient.
he's also an R&Y patient.
He is. He's an R&Y patient. And he is the world's worst bariatric patient. And I'm going to call out Kaiser because Kaiser has told him and all of the people that went through he calls it fat class. He's such a nerd. But all of his class, they told them Flintstone vitamins. As long as you're taking Flintstones, you're fine. And I'm like, they're not. That's not okay. And so we get into daily arguments over the fact that Flintstone vitamins are not equivalent to a bariatric vitamin.
No, they're not.
And now I'm going to have Mel clip out this section
just for him,
just so I could be like, this is a surgeon.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
2 are too many.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes.
I have this question all the time about, can I just take my Flintstone vitamins? And I said, you can do whatever you like, but this is what I recommend because of these reasons. And I don't like to run up the bill on patients. So I hate the fact that they think that we're just trying to tell them to go get this vitamin because it's a way for, extra money or it's more money out of their pockets. It's a niche little thing that we're doing.
Yeah.
But no, in the end, you'll save money.
Yeah.
Because if your surgeon or your medicine doctor, whoever is telling you, take more vitamin A, take more vitamin K, more vitamin K. How many does it? You just bought 3 separate bottles.
Yeah.
When you could have just taken a better multivitamin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know for ProCare, it's what, it's $11.99 a month, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think they're starting to, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's $11.99 and you can do your,
the 90-day.
the subscription.
Mm-hmm.
So every 3 or every month you get your package of vitamins. And it just shows up and you're done. And I'm like, that's so much cheaper than most of the vitamins I would have bought.
Well,
prior.
and more convenient. I think that's the deal. And I think the biggest problem is that they don't realize. So maybe you can emphasize on this. Yeah. We've had people on that literally weren't taking vitamins. We've had a girl be blind.
Yeah,
we've had someone lose almost their all their memory. We've had people walking differently. We had the berry.
Yeah, that's the berry one.
Yeah, the berry. So there's some real stuff that happens. So
most of it comes down to berry, your B vitamins. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's extremely important not to be overlooked. And like I said, not all vitamins are the same. So that's why I say, however you can get it in. Some people can't afford it.
Yeah.
Income, their income is restricted. So then I tell them, you do what you can, but that's why you're coming in on my 3rd month and your 6th month because we're checking full vitamin panels. Mm-hmm. And if they're not where they need to be, then you need to double it up, go somewhere and get specific vitamins. But we also started incorporating Robard with our pre-op diets and then post-operative, because
Robard.
we do calorie restrictions, but it's hard to, if your stomach is getting full of vitamins. So the Robard is nice because it has about 1/3 of your daily requirements of all of your multivitamins inside the protein shake.
Oh, I've never heard of this.
No, what's Robard? Is that the company? Is that the brand?
Robard is the corporation, I think. And then and we use them on our shop where you can, and they have a ton of different, if you want to look on our website, you can see on there, it says shop. And then there's a ton of different flavors, cheeseburger soup or cheesecake, cheeseburger flavored soup.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I'm looking at it.
Oh,
right
yep,
now.
she's on it right now. Yeah, because we'll have to reach out to them and try these.
Yeah.
Is you get tired of protein shakes such as chocolate, vanilla, strawberry.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right? Well, what about mocha frappe? Or what about, double chocolate or what was the cinnamon roll and apple cinnamon?
Yeah.
But come in different textures where they can be in puddings, shakes, or soups.
Nice.
And the nice part about it is, again, limited to 200 calories, but it has all your multivitamins inside of it. So you don't fill that stomach up with only a vitamin.
Okay.
I like that.
All
That's
right.
a new clever way of handling
That is a clever
it.
way. They have a lot.
I saw ice cream
Wow.
sandwiches.
I did. I saw, there's a cranberry grapefruit
So
drink.
who will be reaching out to them.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like it. That's
See?
awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for the tip.
It's like if you've had your disaster Roux-en-Y patient, you know, they're never lost. So they can always be, corralled back in. And usually what we do is we start them on just a regimented diet with those. Because and keep them to a calorie limitation between like 900 and 1200 calories. But then they're getting plenty of variety and the vitamins are already a part of it.
Oh,
That's really cool.
this could really help those that are having vitamin issues.
Yeah. Or they're just like because I know our taste buds change after surgery sometimes. And so some people can't tolerate the sweet. So having a savory option is really kind of cool.
The sweet used to make my eyes water for a while.
Your eyes water?
Mm-hmm.
That is an odd
You know how
reaction.
like when you drink Pepsi
Yeah, the bubbles.
and the bubbles and everything, my eyes would water? That's
Yeah.
what it was doing to me with sweet for a while.
Huh.
And
I've never heard
during after like a year and a half in.
You need to write that down because that's a weird thing.
It is a
That's
weird
a
thing.
case study right there.
Yeah,
That's a case study?
right? I'm like, so back when we first started the podcast, we did a random things
Mm-hmm.
episode.
Yeah.
Where we talked about all the random things that you never thought like would happen, but they do after surgery. And so we're trying to like keep track of all the weird things that we come up with just in case somebody else wants to hear it.
And
But that's like our most downloaded episode ever.
It is. It
is
is.
the
We're
random
going to have to
things.
do a random things too.
Part 2.
Part 2.
Yeah.
And I
'Cause
just
we've learned a lot.
texted it to myself, so I
Perfect.
don't
All right,
forget.
we're good. Well, is there anything else you would like to add?
Yeah. For the audience.
Well, happy holidays.
Oh,
I know.
thank you.
There, and very festive with your little tree and your snowman right there.
Oh, that's my
Thank
gnome.
Yeah,
My
and then we got
my gnome, sir.
Christmas mugs. So mine says "Snow Much Fun,"
And mine's a little gnome.
and hers is a gnome.
I'm addicted to gnomes.
Yeah, we were like, we need to decorate. This is our first holiday in the studio,
I know.
so we've almost been in the studio 1 year.
It's wild.
Yeah, and so we were like,
cool.
we have to decorate and make it look festive over here. So Mel got the tree by herself.
Yep.
And then we went and got everything else together.
Yeah.
So
It was fun.
One of the things for me, especially with the military, this time of year is very hard for a lot of people. So
Yeah.
what you're doing is really, really important by reaching out there. And anybody can be a help to anyone.
mhm.
So whether you have initials after your name like me, or you're just somebody on the street who's had surgery, as so holidays can be really hard
Yeah.
emotionally on people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to make sure that everyone knows that they need to reach out.
Yes.
Yeah, we're
Yes, I
always
love
here.
that. Yes. We're always here to help anybody who needs it. I know, Dr. Fridley, you're there. You care so much about the patients and the people of this community. And you can totally tell that just by the way you talk about our
Mhm.
community. And so it means a lot
It does.
because I think some surgeons don't feel that way. And it's
It's a shame
it is
because
a shame
this
because
community is pretty cool.
it is pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of amazing people out there.
I struggle myself, but that's why it's a journey.
That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
That's right. All right.
Well, and that's what I said in the beginning of the award show, actually, was you never know who you could help just by sharing your picture, or your side by side, or just putting up that you're having a tough time too.
Mhm.
Or, it's all about sharing our experiences, and you can meet some really cool people just by sharing a picture.
You
or a
really
video.
can. Because like I posted I was in a funk and I got some messages and I replied back and they're all like, oh my God, you replied. I'm like, yeah, of course. And they're like, and like, we're just checking on each other now. And I'm like, this is what it's about. Like,
Yeah,
no,
It's
I'm
about
really
finding new
here.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter if they're right next door or they're across the country. Cause let me tell you, like we've been getting
We have
really
better
close.
friends.
I have said this. I'm like, these people that I have probably will never meet, or well, at that time, I was like, I haven't even met half of these people, and they're more supportive than most of my friends that I've known my
In
entire
public.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I'm like,
ridiculous.
I'd much rather be a part of this community.
1,000%.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on and sharing your story. It was amazing.
The pleasure is all mine. I do really appreciate everything that you guys do.
Thank
that's
you.
why I'm more than happy to help you out in any way.
Oh, and we appreciate everything you do, because seriously, your practice needs to be the norm, not the other way around.
Exactly.
That's the goal.
Good.
Someone's got to lead, and someone's got to show them how it can be done and not be scared.
Yes.
I love
Thank you.
it. All right. Well, thank you so much again. And we love you guys, and we will see you
Next time. Bye.